All right, everybody, what is happening? Red 13 coming back. I wanted to do a video where we can kind of go on a background. What is my resume, as to say? As you come in here, we have so many, hundreds and hundreds of experts that know what they're talking about. You know, they've been doing this for years. They've been studying it. They can give you every number that you have to. A lot of numbers, they're here, but you look up some of them. With me, it's more of a experience. I've seen these guys. I know you get the hunch. You know how to just play it. You can choose it. You can just cite it, and that's how I am. I do look up the numbers. I try to do things where we back it up. But for me, I just wanted to let you guys know where I come from. I am not one of those guys that plays in 1 or 2 leagues. Maybe some of the experts, they might play a few leagues here and there. I am a guy who actually plays in a lot of leagues, and I have grabbed a handful of them. Right, I'm not 70. I don't play in something like that. I have too many other things going on in life to play that many leagues. But I do play in over 15, and I'm going to give you some of the random stats from 15 of these different leagues. How I do in them, what are they? I want you to see when you get advice from me. I'm not telling you just this is what you should do and I don't do it, or this is what I think you should do based on other experts. I'm telling you exactly what I do in my everyday fantasy leagues, who I look at, who I want to pick, who I want to draft, how do I change these teams that might be losing. And some of the orphan teams I've taken over, you'll see that I have won titles with them. So as we go through this, I've been doing Dynasty for 5 years in one league, and I really enjoyed it. For years, it was always redraft with my home league, and redraft was great, and I got introduced to Dynasty, and I finally tried it out and fell in love with it, right? I've talked about it in other videos on our channel where we say what's better, Superflex, Dynasty, or not Superflex, Dynasty or redraft, and the positives to both of them. But to me, there is no off season when it comes to Dynasty, and that's how you win. In the off season, you build, you fix your mistakes, or you try to say get rid of it. Anyways, who cares? That's not what this is about. So as we get to the first league, 2022, in this, you can see a picture right here. In 2022, I did win the title, won the championship the last season there, and overall in 2 seasons, I am 20-8. Now, other experts, I don't know how they do this. They like I said, they play numbers. I'm going to just go over a lot of these real quick so you could see that, hey, you know what? 1, this guy knows what he's talking about. 2, it's not one of those where you go, hey, I won 2 titles after I played in 10 leagues. Even if you do that, that is not as easy as you think. There are people who go out there and might play 5 leagues and get 0 titles year after year because they make the same mistakes. So when you see this is a reflection overall that even if I play in 15 leagues, even if I play in 20 leagues, I am consistently always up there. Now, like I said, there are a few teams where I didn't make the playoffs last year. I had one where I was 8-5 and missed because so many teams were good in that league. But through it, it's a lot where there's a few you take over orphans and then you fix them. I have one, I'll show you an example on that team, but let's get to it. The next one, 2022, won another title. In that, I am 18-8, tied for first overall in the league in the 2-season history. Yes, that is a 2-season. A lot of these you'll see 2 seasons, and that's what's funny. One of the ones I've been in the longest with 5 seasons, I've never won a title there, but I have overall tied for the best record in league history. I always come up short. But what can you say? Winning a title is skill and a lot of luck at times. Injury-free, get the hot hand. We've seen it before. Anyone who had Todd Gurley that one year, he carried him to almost anyone who had a decent playoff team to a championship. So sometimes you're going against that, and there's nothing you can do. But with this next one, 2021 is when I won the title. I did not win it this last season. 19-7 overall in 2 years, tied for first, as you can see, 2 seasons. Like I was saying, a lot of these are 2 seasons. What had happened was that I had one Dynasty league that I ran. It was a 16-team league where we run it like college style. That one was incredibly fun. And then I had my home league that went to contracts. That's a whole different story. But no more straight redraft, but it's contracts. And then I had the other dynasty, 1 or 2 dynasties, and it was fun. Easy to maintain, there's not a lot to juggle. In 2020, we had COVID. Fantasy baseball was canceled, and I do that a lot of times to pass the time between seasons and everything else we got going on as a hobby. And I had a couple people say, hey, let's do this. And you just start seeing all these dynasties, right? Because COVID was going on, everything was closed. And you'll see a lot of these 2 seasons. It was because I just started joining leagues left and right. And some of them you're like, hey, this will just be a mock draft. And people said, hey, let's just draft and then we'll go. But it stayed. The league's all stuck. And they're all still going, kicking now. So that's why you'll see a lot of these with 2 seasons. It's not like I have not done Dynasty or even football just 2 seasons. You'd have to be incredibly lucky to be this successful. But you'll see a lot of that. All right, here we go. The next one. Did I do this one? 2022. No, this is one of them. 2022, I did win the title, but in 2021, I only had like 4 wins. I was awful. 14-14 in 2 seasons, right? That was a team that, I drafted that, and I did not draft too hot. I did have some injuries. Rebuilt that, fixed the team, and then the next year did win the title, finished that season 9 wins. This one right here, no titles in 2 seasons. 17-11. See, I want to show you that, hey, I don't win titles. I'm not just going to show the leagues that I won titles in 2 seasons or more. I'm showing you that in this league, I'm tied for 4th overall in 2 seasons. 17-11, not bad, right? Made the playoffs in both. I lost the finals, you can see right here, in 2022. So I did make a nice run in that league and lost in the championship. The next one, 17-11. Now this one is only 1 season. The difference with this is it's got the, league median, where you get the win if you beat your opponent, and if you beat the league average, you get another win. If you're under the league average, you get a loss. So it's almost equivalent to 2 years, and that one was very tricky. I rarely ever do that. The guy did it. I said, all right, let's give it a shot. He's the commish. It was pretty fun, but finished 17-11, made the playoffs, did not win the championship. This one, no titles as well, not 2 seasons, 19-9, tied for 2nd overall. So you're seeing that even when I'm not winning a title in any of the 2 years, I'm consistently up there, and then, with the other teams. Here's another one. Was this it? Yes. No titles again, 18-9, tied for 4th. Once again, 2 seasons, no championships, 18-9, did make playoffs both seasons, unsuccessful in those ones. Now, here we have my home league that has been going on for 13 seasons. We're about to enter our 14th year. Redraft every year. I have not won since we went to the Sleeper app. It's been there, I think, 4 years. But you can see right there, I'm all-time wins just in the 4 seasons, 3 or 4 seasons on Sleeper. In the league history of 13 years, I'm the all-time win leader. I've got 4 championships in that 13 season span. The only guy with more than 2, a couple other guys got 2. The only guy to get back-to-back. So take great pride in that. I've won just about we have a bunch of trophies in that league for, most wins in a season, most points in it. I got it all. So my home league, I have been not dominant, but pretty successful, the most successful in the league. And that's a contract league. That's, like I said, a whole different story. I love that. Let's get to the next one. 2021, I did win the championship. I did not in 2022. But as you can see, 28-12, tied for 1st overall in 3 seasons on that league. So most leagues, I'm either got a title, made the final, or am up there in wins. Here's another one. I did win the 2022 title right here. This was an orphan. Now, what's funny with this one was, it was someone else in another league said, hey, we got a guy who's bailing. He's not even participating in the last 2 weeks. The team's 2-4, okay roster. And I said, yeah, I love challenges. That's why some of these leagues, I'll take an orphan. I like to take them down, break them, make trades. When I came to this team, the first move I did, and I got mocked. I even had one guy say, you come into the league and you're already quitting. I made a trade where I traded Justin Herbert and Jakobi Meyers for A.J. Brown and Justin Fields. Now, this is about 2 weeks before Fields took off last season. The reason I made this deal is I felt, watching Justin Fields on that Monday night game against Washington, they said, hey, you know what, either the coach is going to have to adjust the offense to Justin Fields, or he's going to get fired, and then they're both going to fail. And I was like, you know what, that makes sense. I go, let me try to get Fields before maybe the coach does do that and he starts taking off and being successful. And I needed a good receiver, and I got A.J. Brown out of it. The guy's like, oh, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. Well, we saw what happened with Justin Fields. We saw what happened with A.J. Brown. I took a team that was 2-4, and I also traded for Tyreek Hill, Josh Jacobs, DeAndre Hopkins, and I went from 2-4. I finished the season 7-1 on a 7-1 the last 8 games, made the playoffs, and won the championship. So that's how it is. When you take my advice, these are the moves I'll do. You have a question, I will answer it based on what I would do with the experience. And there are things that I do in the league. When I say that Anthony Richardson, out of the 3 quarterbacks coming out this year, is 3rd on my list. I like Stroud the most, right? I like Young, but I'm okay with either one. And Richardson has a great ceiling for rushing ability, and people feel like he could be Justin Fields 2.0 or whatever you want to call him. But I got to see more from him, right? He's only had 1 season. I'm not going to get into all that. But that's my point is, I'm telling you that because that's what I do. In these leagues, that's what I draft. That's how I do it. And you're seeing, overall, you're seeing it. I'm proving it to you that I'm not just some bum who's trying to make a YouTube channel. I'm actually got a guy with experience, a guy who's successful, a guy who's going to help you answer the questions to the best of my ability and what I apply in my everyday with the league. And if you can take it, I can answer your questions. You can look me up on Twitter at Red1399. Ask me anything. I'll be more than happy. You can subscribe to the channel, ask questions on any video because I'll see it. I will respond to every question, every comment. I have a second channel as well, DSCN Family. That one's got over 17,000 subscribers. I have answered thousands upon thousands of questions or comments about a lot of the stuff we have on that channel. So when you're getting this, you're getting a guy who is dedicated to the channel, dedicated to you, trying to say, hey, I got some knowledge, I got some experience, I got proof that I know what I'm doing, and I'm not a guy who's out there who's just going, you know, I play in 2 leagues, I play in 1 league, and I look up the stats and I'll tell you what I think might happen. No, I'm a guy who plays in a lot of leagues, I'm a guy who takes a lot of chances, I know how to rebuild teams, and I'm more than happy to give this free knowledge out to anybody. I'm not doing something where you gotta pay or anything like that. All right, let's get to the next one. 2021, I did win the title. In 2 seasons, I am 22-6, tied for first. Like I said, consistency, that's what you want to look for. Next one, 2022, I did win the title. 23-5, one of my best overall in 2 seasons, but 23-5. I think in this league, this is one where had I actually played Tyler Higbee over Njoku last year in that week against where Higbee went on a tear and beat the Broncos on the Christmas game, I would have won the title that year. And I didn't. I had played Higbee all year but once, and I went with Njoku, killed me on that. You know, I try to be Mr. Consistent because, you know, Baker Mayfield, the Broncos, I thought they would go in and destroy the Rams, and it was the reverse. But hey, it happens. It's fantasy. So let's get to the next one. 2022, did win the title, 18-10. Now, the first season I struggled. The second one, obviously, I got better, 18-10. 2 seasons, 4th overall for win-losses, but did win a championship. And the last one we go at, in 4 seasons, or actually 5 seasons in this one. No, it could be 4. This is a dynasty, one of the few first dynasties I ever joined. 35-19. I got no titles. Last season, at one point, I was like 11-1, lost a couple. I did have injuries to Lamar Jackson, really hurt. So, you know, you had injuries. When you go in there with your 3rd string quarterback, your 4th string quarterback, I had such a dream team. I thought I was going to win it. But consistently, year after year, 35-19, you see the guy who's tied with me won the championship last year. Well-deserved, right? But that's what it is. You can build these great teams and still not win a title and be one of the most consistent teams in your league. That happens. That happens, and that's fantasy, right? So I always say I'd rather be lucky than good. A lot of people say that comment, and it's 100% true. But that is it. I just wanted to give you background of where I come from when it comes to fantasy. Who is this guy, this Red 13 dork? My real name's obviously Danny, but I just went with this because I love Odell Beckham. I'm trying to do something different, and for the channel to get it out there that, hey, I'm here. I'll answer questions. I will go live during seasons. Answer anything about drafts, what you want to do, your trades. I get people asking on Twitter, and I'm more than happy to answer. So hopefully you realize this is just to give you an idea of who you're watching and any kind of knowledge and any opinion I'll have. So thank you for tuning in. Give a like, subscribe if you can, and look for more videos as we're going to break down more players throughout the year. I'll have YouTube Shorts where I talk about my opinion on a guy. You can check them now. I have a bunch on players that I really am excited for. Then I also have comedy shorts where it's everything sports related. I even have one where it's old classic sports stories. That's on here as well. So tune in. You never know what you're going to get. It will be fantasy or sports or comedy related in some mismatch. All right. So have a great day. Be safe. Talk to you guys later. Peace.